Hey, what's up? It's Stephen A. Williams, president and founder of the creditrepairshop.com. And in today's video, we're going to talk about two things. The first thing, we're going to talk about the debt that is being sold on the market, a credit card portfolio. Um, Average balances are about about $1,100. Just got an email from the portfolio company that sells them. And then I also want to talk about LLC and getting business credit. There was someone on YouTube, for some reason, like when I'm working on this channel, I'll think really as everyone that is watching as a consumer, and I don't really go into building income with with maybe starting a business, or doing some type of side business to earn extra money. I mean, I might mention it in passing, but I never really kind of dive into it. And someone had put a message on YouTube saying, would I consider making another channel that would just really dive into talking about this stuff? And I was like, maybe, but I was thinking, why don't I just incorporate it with this channel? Because I see that a lot of people are looking at how to get credit cards and do all of these different things. I see everybody out there watching those videos, and so I wanted to bring some of my experience on to what I've been able to do personally, and what I've been able to help business owners, new and existing business owners, be able to do. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to throw in a video where you can see proof that I know what I'm talking about with this. A lot of people, they'll, make some videos, and they don't have any real proof, or they, I don't know, they say that they've done it, but they haven't done it. This is something that I've been doing actually for myself for over 32 years. And I've really just never thought it was something that I would want to share with you guys, but I'm going to share it. So I'm going to get into that in a second. But let's first talk about the portfolio that is available. It's $1.1 million, 938 accounts. And here's the crazy thing: is the charge-off date was actually this past June. And that's something that predicted a while back, that you would start seeing, that you would actually start seeing portfolios that were not outside of the statute of limitations being sold. So this one here is less than what we're in September. This portfolio here is less than 4 months old. And so the average balance is $1,195. So whoever buys this portfolio, they're going to be very aggressive on collecting it, because there's no state in the United States that this is past the statute of limitations. So if you go with the conventional wisdom of what all of the attorneys and other YouTube people, and what you see on websites, and what you see on with consumer debt lawyers, what they tell you to do is the number one, first see if the debt is yours. Debt is going to be yours. Number two, they're going to say, did you already pay it? Obviously, you didn't pay it, but maybe you did. Number three, did they do any violations on trying to collect the debt? And that's where you get into where you can figure out solutions on either getting a very generous settlement, or having the whole debt forgiven because they had a major violation that you would be able to prove in court, and that it would probably be more than a 50-50 chance. So because this debt is not past statute of limitations, the first way to challenge this is to send a cease and desist collection activities letter with points that you would make a third-party debt collector have to answer, that only the original creditor would really have all of the answers. Not to say that they won't still try to come after you for it, but it's going to make them think twice, because they're going to say this person knows something that usually people don't ask. Like, most people just either avoid us, or most people just say, do you have a contract to prove that I have to pay you with the debt? And we all know that one of the first things that they're going to do on their comeback strategy is that they're going to send a letter back. And I'm going to repeat this again, thanks to the state representative in 2006 that I just learned about in Wisconsin, made this whole domino effect on how debt collectors would respond with that one statement. Like, they made it a law here in Wisconsin, and it was like a domino effect in all 50 states, to where a debt collector, they can legitimately, legally come back at you with one statement, and and some information about how they got the debt. But really, they could just say that it came from this original creditor, we purchased it, and they can send that one statement, and that is legal proof for them to continue going after you. You can thank that Wisconsin representative who must have took a lot of money from the debt collection lobbies to get that law enacted. Not to say that things haven't been passed later, state by state, that kind of makes it harder for debt collectors. But this is why they will send that one statement or two statements. So now what you have to do to come back on them is to make them prove every aspect about their claim. When they are claiming an amount, say it's $5,000, or let's just say it's this $1,100 from this portfolio, I'm pretty sure in 99.99% of the cases that people did not make one single charge of $1,100, that it was added up over a period of time. And there was probably multiple charges and multiple payments and interest rate, all these types of things would be something that would happen, and that the original creditor would have that information if you were to request it from them. So what you would do is, rather than trying to evade and play these games of proof of contract and all that stuff, which you want them to prove contract on how the chain of custody, on how they got the information. But what really sits them back on their heels and makes them think is where you ask them to prove their claim. Give me all of the charges to prove this $1,100 that you're claiming that I owe you. That is a legitimate question to ask, and usually when they get that, they usually will probably back off and say, we're not going to go after you for this, because they can't prove all of the charges. They can't prove that you either digitally signed and approved that charge, or that you manually signed, or that you did a PIN code sign for those charges. You have a right to get that for your review, to make sure that every charge in their claim was accurate, and also all of the payments that you made were accurate. That made something, when I saying that made something come to mind that I see all the time when debt collectors take people to court, is that they'll put a line in their allegation saying that there was no dispute of any payments, no dispute of any charges. When we got it from the original creditor, there was no dispute of anything. We're not talking about a dispute of anything. We're talking about allowing you to be able to review the charges that they're claiming on that document that they sent you, saying that you owed this debt. Or if you happen to be in court right now, where they're taking you to court, that same thing. You're asking them. I'm not saying that there was potentially no dispute with them, or that I didn't dispute it with them. Obviously, there was some problems because the account went bad. And but what I'm asking you specifically is to give me all of the charges that you have for my review, because I may bring up a dispute on that. And when you start asking for those records, they're not able to get those records. And that's where it's going to be, either they're going to cease collection, or they may try to continue with what they have, and then the judge will make that decision. But do you see what that's done for you? That's giving you a fighting chance. And that's what we're always talking about here, is what is a fighting chance, not what is something where they consider you're just trying to evade and not trying to pay. We're talking about a fighting chance. And all of the documents and everything that they put together as their proof is what they're utilizing as a fighting chance. And what I'm doing is I'm giving you a way to where you can have a fighting chance. And if you have a debt collector that's coming after you, you can grab my 3-pack of letters that's below this video. I have an updated paid version that is very, very precise on what's going on right now. And I made that a paid one because I think some of the debt collectors were grabbing my free ones and they were making some adjustments. So I want to kind of monitor who's getting those that updated pack. And for people who, maybe don't have the money right now, I do have the free ones there, and you can utilize those. It does work very good, but you're going to have to be prepared to do that back and forth, and I give you the document for that. And you can make a donation, whatever you believe is on your heart, for the donation on that pack. It can save you heartache, it can save you frustration, it can save you time, and it can definitely save you money if you utilize those documents in the right way. Link is below this video. So now let's get into something that I'm gonna start getting more into, because I am an entrepreneur, and I believe that most people, if you're gonna have some type of financial freedom, you're gonna need to consider starting a business, even if it's something that you do on the side. And a lot of people have been asking me to do this, and we just didn't do it because we didn't have time. But I think we're gonna make a product where we're gonna have time to allow people to learn about this. Either where they do it yourself, or where we have a service where we do it for you. And it's talking about setting up an LLC and being able to utilize getting funding, utilize getting credit cards, but it's in your business's name. And a lot of people don't know how that works. Some people don't even believe it works. They say, it's either they've tried it and it didn't work. And I'm here to tell you that there's a certain way that you have to do it. And when I'm looking at what people are just talking about on YouTube and some of the other companies that have came to me for doing it for my clients, and when I would review what they're doing, I'm like, this, the way you're doing this, it doesn't seem like it could work, at least work for my clients. And so what I'm doing is I'm going to put together a checklist that you'll be able to download in the future. I'm going to be adding it to my links below, but I don't have that ready right now. So what I want to do is just give it to you for free. Just let you, so you can understand what you would have to do to be able to get this done. I'm just going to just blow it out here. If you have, let's just say that you want to figure out a way to where you can get loans, and you want to be able to have that in your business's name, not really in your personal name. The first thing that I want to tell you is that you're going to have to first start it with your personal name if you're starting the business from ground zero. Most of you that are watching this video are going to be starting from ground zero, so that's why I wanted to make this one. Now, if you have a business and it's had some revenue, it's been in action, it's not just open in 1 month ago or something, you can get things in order. If you've been declined for funding or declined for getting credit cards, there's certain things that you need to get in order to be able to get that done. And what I've done is I've just wrote it down on my sheet here, but I am gonna make what I'm gonna give away as a checklist, where I'm gonna have a link, and you'll better get a more detailed checklist on this. But I'm just gonna kind of rattle off quickly what people need to do. And I call this bucket number 1 list. So if number 1, you got to choose a business name, and you need to choose that business name that is not in a high risk type category. Because if you make a business name in that LLC, seems to be some type of high risk, like say like you're gonna do real estate and you call it properties, or something like that, is you're gonna be it could cause some problems with you being able to get that approved when you're trying to get either funding or something, because they're going to say that you're in a high risk business. So let's start here with getting that business name. And you need to also get your URL for your business name, so you can go to GoDaddy, get that URL, make sure that it's available so you can make them match. Because if they don't match, it's going to be a problem. Once you know that you had that business name that's available, then what you do is you get that URL so you can secure that, and then you need to also you check that also with that business name with your state when you set up the LLC. So all of those three need to match. And then the next thing is you need to get a real business address. UPS boxes and PO boxes are not working. UPS boxes were working for a little bit, but now the mailing companies and the banks, they had something put in with the U.S. Postal Service where it'll identify if it's a UPS box. So that's not going to work. You're going to need to figure out a way to have a regular a regular address. If you have to, use your home address for the time being. If you can afford it, get something like with the Regis, the WeWork, those companies that give you a like a work area and you just pay a monthly fee. They'll collect your mail, scan it, send it to you, but those will work for the time being. Those work really well. And also, if possible, you need to get a business license. Check with your city, get a business license. You're gonna also have your LLC certificate from your state, but getting that business license will do you a little bit better. I have an occupancy permit for my office location for my businesses. They each have their own location, and so we got our LLCs and our occupancy permits. And then your NAICS code. You need to make sure that you get something that is as close as possible, that is not in that high risk category, because as soon as you go and you go to get a bank account, they share that code. It's even though you're at this bank, it is shared. So when you go to get a loan, say you have an account at Chase and you go get a loan or credit card at Bank of America, they're going to know your high risk category, because that's something that is shared from bank to bank. The next thing you need to do is you need to get your 411 listing. It's very important. You can even do a 411 listing with your cell phone. A lot of people don't even know that. But you got to have your business phone number listed. And then you need to have your website built with that URL, have that built. You need to have your business email, not a Gmail. You need to have a business email. So if it's like mine, sales@thecreditrepairshop.com or support at thecreditrepairshop.com. Next thing you need to do is you need to set up, and we're going to have this service available where you can set up your with a business service that has the business credit. It'll have your personal and business credit. And of course, you don't have business credit right now, but it's like knocking out two birds with one stone. You're going to get your FICO scores, and you're going to get the opportunity to start building your business credit profile, and you'll be able to see as that profile is built how your scores will go up for your business. And so that's bucket number one. You need to take care of that, and once you have that taken care of, you can go to bucket number two. Bucket number two is setting up that business bank account. Once you have all of that stuff and you've made decisions on that, you can set up that business bank account. And then you need to set up your Dun & Bradstreet. There's a way to do your Dun & Bradstreet, get that DUNS number for free. It takes a little bit longer, or you can do a paid account, and it starts at $1,200 for the paid account. The next thing you need to do is you need to set up a merchant account so you can be ready to do business with anyone that wants to do business with you. You don't need an expensive one. You can get one set up with Stripe, PayPal, or Square. Again, they're going to be checking to make sure that you're not in a high-risk category. That's your bucket number two that you need to take care of. Now you're ready for bucket number three, is where you review everything for its accuracy, and then you start to apply. And from the way that we've told people to do it is you apply by utilizing four like department store cards or Walmart cards, something like gas cards like those. You need to utilize those. You need to utilize those for a few months. Make sure you utilize them, pay, utilize, pay. It doesn't matter if you pay them off. You're just trying to show that you have, that you're doing some type of transactions, and that you're paying, something on an open credit line. Visitor. And then the next thing is when they're going to utilize your personal and your business information when approving. If everything is accurate, like what I told you in those two buckets, you're going to get approved. I can almost guarantee it, unless you've done something where you have a reputation with a certain company where they won't approve you. But there's a ton of them that are out there. Something that we're going to be offering is where you can utilize a financing option that we have with our company, where that will actually put that trade line on there, so you can have something with your name and with your business name that is on there that will help you start building that credit, and it's going to be utilized for your business credit. Another thing that you can do, and we're going to be offering this service, is where you can add a authorized user trade line on there. So if this is done the right way, you will also see that putting those things in action. When you go to apply, they're going to automatically approve you, because they're going to see that you have some type of activity. The next thing, which is bucket number 4, which is the ultimate bucket that you want to be at, is to, number 1, review what's being reported on your credit monitoring, and then you see that if it's the right time to go ahead and jump and try to get some major credit cards. Citibank, American Express, Chase, Discover, those would be the ones that I would go for to be able to get approved on. They're have good business type cards, and you'll be able to get approved. The type of approvals that we've been seeing with my business clients, 50, 100,000, 20,000. It kind of just depends on where you're at and where you're at with your personal. But the thing about it, and this is something that a lot of people just don't know and understand, is that when it comes to getting approved, if your business stuff matches, because this is what they want to do. And this kind of goes back to what happened with me with my publishing business. These banks and these lenders, they don't know whose business is going to jump off and just blow up, and they can be making, millions of dollars from you, or you're going to be charging, like I'm with my publishing company. When my wife and I went to them in 1994, they didn't know, or actually 1992, they didn't know that we were going to be a multi-million-dollar company. Back at that time, we were only paying them every 2 weeks, like $500 for our printing. And then we ended up where we, at our highest point, paying them $5,000 and $6,000 a week to print our publication. Just think if they would have just thought, hey, just because you're not big now, you can't get big. That's why, if you have everything in order, that's why it's very important. If you have everything in order and matching, it justifies them with their underwriting, and they're doing all of this with computers. The computer says, hey, this is a good risk. Let's take it. And with them, what they're thinking is, they're like, you just never know. And even, they're going to start you off at a certain level. They're not going to blow you up and give you $1 million worth of credit. They're going to, gradually move you up. So, and with me, what I've done with American Express is I have 10 cards, actually. In that video, I had, I'm not sure if I had stated it, but in my video, I had showed 100,000. Each of my cards has $150,000 available that I can charge at any given time. And, so this process really does work. And I'm going to go into more detail when I introduce that. You'll hear it. I'm going to make a video here. You will see I'm going to give you a checklist and be in more detail. And we're going to also probably be offering that service, because I think that, it would be a good thing for you if you are looking at making ways to bring in extra money, or maybe you're trying to, leave that 9 to 5 and go out on your own. I think that this would be a good way to fund that, and then you can get some type of coaching service where that can help you with the mindset and the ups and downs of being in business, because that's that is a huge part of it also. And I would be I would be willing to coach especially my YouTube subscribers on that. All right. Thank you for your time. If you need help with your credit, please visit us at thecreditrepairshop.com. Watch the video, what makes us different, so you can see my 8-point validation process, my 2-phase settlement process. If you need your credit portion scores, you can grab those at the number 3scores.com. We also have a link below for that FICO score, so you can get the FICO, the 3 FICO score, and if you have a business, you can put that business information in there and see what your business scores are. Links are below this video. If you have debt collectors coming after you trying to sue you, you can grab my 3-pack of letters, or you can utilize a service. We have a DIY service where you can draw up your own responses, or you can have us do it for you. Please subscribe to the channel. Please like this video. Please share it. Let's get those numbers up. Thank you for your time. This is Stephen A. Williams, President and Founder, thecreditrepairshop.com.